What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about another Screwpop tool, little gadget, and this is their lighter holder slash pipe tool. All right, pretty interesting. Just got done using this for the second time. Smoked a bowl of the Colt Blood Red Moon. Highly recommend it for a cherry blend, aromatic, out of the Dagner Corncob Poker. And it was a very nice experience, so I wanted to talk about this now that I'm pretty familiar with it. Also, I want to address something real quick. I did my last video talking about the tether from Screwpop tool, and I just didn't like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I make these videos. I like some stuff. I don't like other things. One person did comment and said that you just don't like Screwpop tool and it doesn't matter what they make, you're just going to hate on them, and that's clearly not the case. This is something they make that I love. That razor holder is the coolest product I think they make. They have a couple products I actually really enjoy. But the same could be said for pretty much any knife company. I mean, even the big ones like Benchmade and Spyderco, I think they have certain knives that are junk. I just don't like them for whatever reasons, but it's like anything else. So all I can do is give you my honest opinions and, talk about my experiences with things. And that's what I do here. So I don't have any hatred or bias for any company, for them or against them. Just want to throw that out there. But anyway, this one I happen to really like. The downsides, I think the tools on here could be a little bit tighter. They seem to be a little bit, I don't want to say loose, but I tend to like I'm used to the regular check tools and they're like stiff. You know what I mean? They're really stiff, so basically when you put the tools together, or if you just want to use one particular tool, they're not going to move around much. This moves around just a little bit more than I like maybe, but it's totally like a preference thing. It's really not a big deal. Obviously the huge advantage to this particular tool is that it houses a standard Bic lighter, which is awesome. All right, if you don't, if you don't smoke a pipe or need, a pipe tool, they sell just this. All right, so it's an adaptation of an older design. So they have just a keychain lighter holder. All right, now as you guys know, I have a ton of crap on my keys, so this is not something I'm gonna hang off of my keys. But if you just had a couple keys, maybe, I don't know, house key, car key, and that's pretty much it, you don't really carry much else, then something that's bigger or bulkier like this wouldn't be a big deal. Especially if you smoke a pipe every day and you're always out and about, it makes sense to have it on your keys. What's really cool about this tool, so before I get into the specific tools on this one, let me talk about pipe tools and what they're used for so you have a better understanding if you don't happen to smoke a pipe. All right, so the first tool here is your tamper. All right, this is for pushing the tobacco down. All right, it always has an angled head and a flat spot. All right, so the object is when you're smoking, you want to keep the tobacco squished together so that the lit part will continuously light the other tobacco underneath it, but there's a balance there. If it's too tight, it's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to draw, the smoke through the pipe. If it's too loose, it kind of goes out. So tamping is a very large part of pipe smoking. All right, the most used tool without a doubt. Some people only use the tamper. Next, you have a poker. This is to manipulate the tobacco, move it around. You can aerate it. If it's too tight, you can literally poke holes through it or move it, with that. That's how I happen to use this tool, is if the pipe is packed too tightly, or if I'm trying to ash and there's some stubborn ash on top or burnt tobacco I want to get rid of, I use this just to kind of manipulate the tobacco. I'll fluff it up a little bit, tamp it back down. All right, knock the ash out, fluff it up, tamp it back down. So these two tools I use the most. This tool, which is kind of a scraper tool, I think sometimes they refer to it as the spoon. This I don't really use. This is to scrape, the cake out. Some people like to build it up. I don't really have much of a preference. I just don't feel like I always have a need for something like this. I've used it once or twice, but on a regular basis, I usually do not use this tool. All right, I end up using the poker to kind of scrape everything. But those are the basic three tools, all right? And these are the most common shapes and sizes for those tools. On the Screwpop one, they do something a little bit different. All right, the poker is basically the same thing. All right, you can see it's about the same gauge as well, all right, as far as the thickness. The spoon is a totally different design. This one's tapered for the tip to get down into maybe angled bowls and stuff. I don't think it's a huge deal. Again, because I don't use this personally, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. But that is more of a wider design. And then for the tamper here, you see on the check tool, it's more of a circle, where this one is more of like, half moon shape. Works totally fine though. The rounded portion of it you would keep against the side of the bowl, and you can obviously move that around to get every bit of that bowl. But generally speaking, people are just poking down the middle. Maybe you're pulling it to, you know, one side or the other. It is a little bit larger, which makes tamping a little bit easier, so there's an advantage there, which is nice. Generally speaking, when using this, I am kind of moving around in a circle as I'm tamping, whereas this, not so much because it is a little bit bigger. Not a huge difference, but slightly bigger. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, my only critique on this is that the tools are looser than I would probably prefer, but they're not loose. As you can see, they're going to hold their position. All right, you might see it as a bonus that they're just easier to move. I just happen to have the preference. As far as the tool itself as a whole, it's a little bit on the chunky side, but it's kind of to be expected. I can't see them doing this design much different. Unlike the tether, where I feel like they try to reinvent the wheel, as some people commented, I'd agree with that. There was a perfectly fine design they try to make better, and it's just kind of strange. Whereas this is just adapting a tool that already works fine, but adding something to it, which was great, which is this lighter. And in fact, what I've done, both times that I've used this, is I've held it like this, all right, with the tamper out. So what I've done is I'm smoking my bowl, I'm, you know, lighting it, and then literally in the same motion, I'm just bringing this back and tamping it, all right, lighting it and tamping it. So it's been a huge benefit as opposed to normally I would have my lighter, all right, and I would light my bowl, and I would put my lighter down and pick up the tamper. Usually have this, like a T, or, you know, angled like this. Put my lighter down to tamp it. I don't generally like hold them at the same time. I suppose I could now that I've done this, but yeah, lighting your bowl and then, you know, be able to come and tamp. It's just a really nice benefit. That's where this actually goes above and beyond the standard check tool. All right, it's just convenient to say the least. So, and you can see obviously this lighter is removable. It's just a little bit of a tension on this spring portion here. Very easy, but it's not going to fall out or anything. All right, so yeah, this has that little added benefit of being able to light and then come down and tamp in the same hand. It's easier, honestly. It was very convenient. So I do like this. Price on these, I think it's like $14 on the website, but Amazon is $11.95. For $12, I can get behind it. I think that's reasonable. Of course, I'd love to see it for $5 like everything else. You want it to be cheaper, right? Especially when you're buying stuff, the cheaper the better. But $12 is reasonable for what you're getting. So yeah, that is my opinions on the Screwpop tool, pipe tool combination. I think it's pretty cool. But like I said, if you're not into pipe smoking, you don't need these tools. They sell just this. All right, and I believe that is cheaper. So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care.